In the halls where the whispers gather, conservative minds debate the future. From tax cuts to border walls, strategies clash like a political rally. Frustration brews
changes.
As always, we new challenges. Dissenting voices rise up, seeking unity, but finding divides. We stand strong, we stand tall. In this party, our spirit will not fall. The path is rocky along. We march forward with hearts full of song. Policies debated, votes cast. In the shadows, some doubts are fast. Yet the fire of conviction burns bright, fueling hope, making the dark night light. Frustration brews in the chambers, as always meet new challenges. Dissenting voices rise up, seeking unity, but finding divides. We stand strong, we stand tall. In this time, our spirit will not fall. The path is rocky along. We march forward with hearts full of song.
That was a guitar riff.
I didn't even know there was a riff in this song. Are we going all the way through because we're waiting for Frank?
Find our way. With every step, we'll stay in the fray.
We stand tall. Nice. That chair looks good. Hi, Frank.
All right. And we are here.
Is that Frank in his shorts or his skivvies?
Frank is in his
skivvies.
Oh yeah. Is in his. He's in his shorts.
They look tight.
He's in his shorts.
And there's an echo going on here from your side.
Yeah, I hear it. Okay.
There's an echo going on here from your side.
Yeah, I hear it. Okay. Yeah, I hear it. Okay. All right. Is that any better?
No. Still hear it. It's coming from maybe Frank's side. That might be the feedback.
Oh, no. I got it. I got it. Should be good.
Oh, yeah. Okay, there you go.
All right. Let me change this back. So this is the Rebel Republic.
Frank, close the daycare.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We are the best political talk show in all of Massachusetts, all of Vermont, New Hampshire, Delaware, Rhode Island, New York, New Jersey, Maine, New Hampshire. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
You're either with us or you're against us. And with me, as always, he's walking after his siesta, laying down in bed.
My dog's out here now.
The proverbial voice of reason, who declined to have me over at his house because of the weather. And Coach Schumann, who is ready to go and is going to dominate life. Coach Schumann, great to see you.
Great to see you.
Frank,
I have a video I want to share with you guys. It's hilarious. I'm just pulling. Keep going.
Oh, great! There's a video. I'm excited to see this.
This is good. Frank's gonna love it.
I'm excited to see what is going to be coming up on the video. Dave is going to show for everyone. So we have a lot to talk about. And it's going to start with, I was trying to ask Frank, in Minnesota, the Department of Health and Human Services is freezing all child care payments, the agency said Tuesday, amid scrutiny surrounding alleged fraud involving child daycare centers across the state. There have been serious allegations that the state has funneled millions of taxpayer dollars to fraudulent daycares across Minnesota.
Hundreds of millions, if I'm not mistaken, right, Frank?
Probably into the billions.
Billions.
Yeah, over the past decade. So
why
my
make
question
billions when you
is-
can make millions?
$1 million.
how does it go on for this long? Is my question.
It's an intricate web, Steve. Bottom line, there are no checks and balances in what. And this isn't the only. That's the one I sent you, right?
Another guy sent this to. Oh, are you Tony Cannoli?
I'm Tony Cannoli.
Yeah.
How about?
You're the great Tony Cannoli.
Yeah.
My favorite guy on TikTok.
So it was a different guy, huh?
It's you. I forwarded on to my some of my other buddies who were conservative like myself, and they're always like, "Oh, the great Tony Cannoli sent you another great one."
That's great.
He's legendary. He's legendary.
Play this one. Play this one, David. It's phenomenal.
Let me get to the screen here. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just confused on how
I
this.
just watched this. It's so funny. It's so funny.
Tim, what do you have for us? Sharks, I have 3 words for you. Somali daycares.
Fantastic.
That's so good. We got to play it again.
Please.
Tim, what do you have for us? Sharks, I have 3 words for you. Somali daycares.
Oh God, it's so
It's
funny.
so good. It's so good. There are so many memes out right now and so many AI videos out right now of Waltz, Somalis, people that are saying they're moving to Minnesota to open up daycares because they didn't realize the money was so good. I mean,
Yeah.
it's insane. It's insane.
I was thinking,
I
like,
mean-
what am I doing? These people are way smarter than I am.
Well, what they're doing is they're raping the American pocketbook.
That is what it is. That is
That's
what it
it.
is.
That's it, and we're allowing it to happen.
They're stealing from the American, in particular, the Minnesota taxpayer.
From the same people that brought them into this country, clothed them, fed them, housed them, took care of their needs in the beginning until they could establish themselves. We don't realize that these people in third world countries live in very deprived situations, and they have to steal and rob and lie and cheat and kill to survive. And they've learned how to do it now without any of the violence.
Do you have empathy for them?
No,
No.
I don't have empathy for people that are scamming. Listen, if you scam $100
for the people who got scammed.
for the people who got scammed, the American. Sorry about that.
The Minnesota taxpayer.
Mom is calling me. I have sympathy for the taxpayers.
Oh, for the taxpayers. Okay.
Steve, they have it on video. Okay, they have it on video.
What is that glare on your nose?
I know. It's like a green. Let's see here. Maybe it's my camera. I don't know.
No, it's
Let's
not.
see. Oh, now it's gone. Now it's done. Maybe I'll go change the lighting in a minute. So they have, and I can't let me do it this way. How's that? Oh, that's even worse. Okay, so they have it on video from 2015. They had reports from 2015 that these daycares were opening up everywhere in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, and had no cars, no children were dropped, nothing. They have on video Somali parents coming in, signing their children's name inside the daycare center, and then taking their kid out and walking away, and then coming in the next day and getting an envelope full of cash. Because think about it. You help me out. You bring your kid in. I give you a few $100s a week, and you just take your kid back. You're making money. Everybody makes money. We make a ton of money. They have it on file right now from the state of Washington. There are Somalis that are running for government positions in the state of Washington, and they have it's on record. Donated amounts, $500, $1,000, $2,000 from the daycare centers in Minnesota to the Somali person running in the state of Washington. That's how they launder the money.
But I thought he was doing this for votes, from what I read.
I'll have to ban Steve from my comments here.
I didn't know I was commenting as you. I'm sorry.
I can't.
What do you say now?
I didn't know I was commenting as you.
Oh, Steve, you're so sick.
Well, I signed in as myself. I wasn't on yours. I thought I was on
get rid of the
mine.
one on Twitch.
But
God, I'm sorry.
So I just, again, I don't understand how this was pulled off for so long.
Because there's no checks and balances in the state. There's no checks and balances in the state.
Well,
There can't be.
the
Is
vice
that every
president
state or just
candidate.
Minnesota? Is there issues with this in other states? I mean,
I bet you're going to see more states, Dave. I wait till they get into California. You're going to see more states.
Oh, right, because it's such a huge state, and there's so much that can go on without even.
That's it. They've said their state health and human services, I think she just said that all these places were just inspected within the last 6 months. All right, then show me the documentation. Show me the times that inspectors went in there and filed that there were children there, because it's not just Nick Shirley. So Nick Shirley, been an investigative reporter there, walking around with another gentleman.
They don't talk to him anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, right. He walked around with another gentleman who actually did a lot of the legwork in investigating all the numbers and the figures of which daycare center would get payments from the state. And now it's not just Nick Shirley; it's the average Minnesotan who lives in that city, Minneapolis. And they're like, "I've never seen cars in that parking lot. They're like, I've never seen anything. There are no children there." So this is definitely. And now what happened today? Today there's 70, 80 children coming into that daycare center. They called them all in. They said, "Get in here now. We got to go to work."
Now we got to show. Now we have to show we're for real.
Right. And the governor of the state, yes, it is for votes, but also they don't want to be known as racist. They're afraid of being, everything is racist. So this is another attack. This is a racist attack on Somalis because of what they're trying to say. All this, incrimination of not using, stealing money from the state. So they're throwing out the race card. How about the attorney, the lieutenant governor? The lieutenant governor goes on TV and said she's so happy and protects the Somali that she's wearing a Somali headdress. I mean, what is this? This is beyond outrageous. It's starting to get ludicrous. And when people say that, if you look at it right now, when people say that Trump was lying and he was just instigating with his accusations of that, he wasn't. He's totally on the ball. He knew exactly what was going on in this country, and you just have to have the ammunition to prove it. But I'll tell you right now, even with the proof they're going to get, what the DOJ is going to do, what the FBI is going to do, all this paperwork, I'm sure Congress will get involved. No one will go to jail. No one will lose their job. They will just brush it under the rug because every politician has their hands in the cookie jar.
No, they do. They do for sure. But I was surprised that this has been allowed to go on as long as it has. And with Waltz being a vice presidential candidate, this wasn't uncovered while vetting him. That's where my confusion lies.
It's not directly to him, though. It's an intricate web to every politician in that state. But bottom line, it's not him. And why would you think they're just going to call it off because Tim Waltz is running for vice president?
No. I'm not saying they'd call it off. I'm saying it would have been discovered because Waltz runs Minnesota. And I would anticipate they would investigate everything that's going on in his state. if there's anything suspicious, they would uncover it. That's
Right,
what
but
I'm saying.
when they investigate in the state, who do they ask for information? They ask the state, the heads of the state. How's it going over there? Everything's
isn't
great.
DCFS in charge.
Tim Walz is a product of the Democratic socialist empire system that all funds all this nonsense to be able to create this circle of nonsense. And this is straight out of like the
circle jerk,
the communist playbook. Okay.
Yeah.
We want everyone to be equal and everyone to have to pay high taxes. And then we're going to take the money that we get from you and dole it out to our friends. That's what we're doing here. Okay. Now listen.
Our friends the Somalis?
Yeah, I guess. Tomorrow, well, in Minnesota, that might be an important group for you to have as a interest group, right?
Yeah, especially 150,000 votes,
right? And they mobilize the whole community very well.
They all vote together. Yep,
they all vote together. And in Minneapolis, where the largest group is, they control that city. So if they not that they control it, meaning there's obviously more population than they are, but they're a very influential block of voters. And there's no doubt that there's they're either turning a blind eye, okay, because it's hard for me to believe that people are shoveling billions of dollars without knowing it. So they're turning a blind eye, or they're helping out their friends. It's one of the two, and obviously either one of them are not good, but it's one of the two. Like, so that is now listen, both parties, the left and right, have their own corruption issues, okay, with people helping. So anyone who goes and says, oh, the people do it, this is on a scale that is like never been seen before. So don't tell me about other things that are going on. This is leveraging knowing that the government is going to not pay a ton of attention to the helping of kids, right? And give the money because you're quote unquote helping kids, right? And and now it turns out they're not doing any of that.
So how about this, which I thought was very interesting? Walz blames Trump for this. The governor, Walz, has been combating fraud for years, while President Trump has been letting fraudsters out of jail, the spokesman said. Fraud is a serious issue, but this is a transparent attempt to politicize the issue to hurt Minnesotans and defund government programs that help people. And Walz said the move was part of President Trump's quote unquote long game, which I thought, wow. You know, he said they've spent years cracking down on fraudsters. It's a serious issue, but this has been President Trump's plan all along. He's politicizing the issue to defund programs that help Minnesotans. So he's essentially saying that this, being revealed to the United States is to prevent funds being issued to the state that help that programs that help the people of Minnesota. Do you believe that, Dave?
Do I believe that Trump allowed Walz to give money to the Somali daycares? Is that what they're saying?
I mean, yeah, he's basically saying that the governor has been combating fraud while President Trump has been letting fraudsters out of jail. And, this has been.
So what does that have to? First of all, I don't even know. Did he give specific examples? My favorite thing now on social media and press conferences, this is my favorite thing, okay, that people do. And it's hilarious. And I can't believe people believe this shit. They go and just say, My sources tell me. What sources? I don't have any sources. Bullshit.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I know.
Or they'll say, they'll say,
A source told me.
no. They'll say, I've uncovered information that's well. What have you uncovered? Where can we read what you have uncovered? They don't provide anything. It's just all bullshit. Like I see all this stuff going on all the time, and it's craziness. And I mean, it goes on both left and right. But this thing, these are facts here. These are actual facts of dollar amounts that are going to these daycares that no one is there at. So I don't know, how does Tim Walz even deflect any of this? How does he even
I couldn't believe
any of this on Trump? Let's take this argument's case. Let's say Trump let out somebody who had committed fraud from jail, for fraud and went to jail. Okay, he pardoned somebody. Let's say he pardoned someone that did that. Let's use that as an example. Okay, pardon somebody. What does that have anything to do with what is going on in Minnesota with the fraud that is coming from Tim Walz's government to the Somali people on the taxpayers' backs in Minnesota?
Yeah, and it's mostly it's low end childcare. People who can't afford it, they were the ones who were sending their kids to these daycares because they were affordable for them, and it turns out they never existed. That's what I can't do. And Nick Shirley did a phenomenal job investigating it, and the video he posted has gone viral.
Right.
And it showed visits to multiple state daycare facilities, and one of them, the Quality Learning Center, appeared inactive, despite receiving hundreds of millions of dollars in child care assistance money over the last decade. And it sparked widespread attention from, Donald Trump Jr., Elon Musk, and the only one who pushed back against it, Tim Walz.
It went viral, Steve. You know why it went viral? Because people are sick of the bullshit. They're sick and tired of it.
I agree.
We're tired of it. Across this country, we're tired of it. And we're tired of when it's like the shell game in the city. Hey, look what's over here. And they're trying to distract you from what's actually going on. They put out racist. You're racist. You're homophobic. You're a Nazi. They throw these keywords out here to sort of divert attention from what's really going on. And what's really going on is we're getting fucked. That's what's happening in this country, both politically, economically, socially. We've been destroyed. What's happened in the last 4 years has been outrageous. COVID, realistically, along with the Biden administration, gave everyone a green card to do whatever the fuck they want to do in this country and say whatever they want to say with no repercussions. And now they can take money with no repercussions. And yes, this goes on both sides. It goes on in different states. You're going to see more investigation. You're going to see things tightening up real quick, I think, from state HHS people. But I'm telling you right now, it's just people are sick and tired of what's going on. And if heads don't roll on this sucker with all this evidence right in front of them, look how they're trying to say that. Oh no, the one guy came out. No, there's no such thing. I don't know what you're talking about. We have kids here all the time, and the next day kids are rolling in. But for the previous 7 years, there's nobody in the damn center. People are just collecting money, and they're sending it to third parties, including overseas to terrorist organizations right in their own country. How about this connection? Let me put a connection on this one, Dave and Steve, and listen to this one here.
So terrorist organizations,
of course, Al-Shabaab. Al-Shabaab gets money to dark from them. Yeah, exactly. How about this one? Here's another theory. So the state representative that was murdered X amount of months ago in Minnesota. If you remember, there were two different shootings on the same night. All that, and one of them was a state where it was Hortman, I think was her name, the last name. So the murderer was on Tim Walz's staff at some point in his career, in his political career. So the murderer was on Tim Walz's staff. And he had said during his deposition on it that Tim Walz had told him to kill her, right, to get rid of her. And people were like, this guy's insane, right? But she was the only politician in the Minnesota state government that voted against continuing the funding of money to minorities and to groups and to these social services without documentation. And she ended up losing her life for it because that guy wouldn't kill them. I'm sure now people are saying Waltz gave the guy the green light to go and get rid of her because she was the only one that voted against it. Now, do I believe that totally? That's kind of crazy. But the ties come full circle. Once you start putting A and B together, it turns into C, doesn't turn into D. So the ducks are in a row right now. I'd like to see that part of it investigated as well. She was the only one that voted against money going for illegals. And maybe she paid with it with her life. If not, why is somebody killing? Why are they going and picking her out of the blue?
Yeah. There's no reason. There was no reason for it. It was random. There was no reason
to do that.
Nah,
Right.
Follow the money everywhere. Now going to Washington State, I hope they bust open Washington State and go into those and see where the money's going. They've got to tear this. The FBI and the DOJ have to tear this sucker open and gash it. They have to gash it until somebody bleeds. If not, this country will revolt. I'll tell you right now, if 53% of the country is white and they're scared of white people, they think they were scared of white people before, they better be scared of white people now because people are going to lose their fucking minds.
Agreed.
Well, I thought that especially child daycares were very, very heavily under government oversight. And it does not appear to be that way. To open a daycare, they do random checks like twice a year, and that's kind of it. So,
really?
Yeah, I mean, there's not a ton of oversight on these daycares. You have to have a certain amount of people per child that's in the daycare,
and that's all I care about.
Well, they'll do a check-in. But it's random. You don't know when they're coming. But when they do their check-ins, after they're done, there's only a couple done per year because the oversight, I thought it was DCFS, they're underfunded, so they don't have the personnel to go around and check, every few months or every quarter or whatnot. So they check twice a year. And once it's done twice a year, then you can do what you want. You can say, oh, you're closed, and you can collect the money per kid because you're given money depending on the amount of children that you have in your daycare. So that's why it's an effective scheme.
I'd like to see the documentation on the checking because I'll tell you right now, people around there have said that there haven't been cars or kids in those buildings for years. Yeah. Years there haven't been cars, kids. Even when Nick Shirley went there and he knocked on one of the doors, he said, I'd like to check in my son, Joey. I'd like to get Joey in. Do you have some information on how I can sign him up to the daycare? And they're like, I'm sorry, no information on that. My manager's not here. What manager? If you're in a daycare, I've gone to daycares. I wanted to open up one maybe 3 years ago. I had an empty building. Let's do daycare. And the regulations, the rules, the costs, everything is too restrictive. It's really hard to do. So you're telling me that they're not going to show a person through the daycare and say, here we are. I don't have anything yet for you information-wise, but let me get your phone number. Let me get some contact, and let me get back to you. Instead of some Somali woman who's like, I don't speak English, don't bother me, and push it away. That's totally suspicious and totally out of line. And these other people are jumping in and saying it's racist. Get the fuck out of here.
You know what have worked, Frank? Doggy daycare.
Yeah. We'll just sign the dogs in and then send them back home and collect the money.
No,
right, that'd be great.
I really want to run the doggy.
And they went to they didn't go to the learning center. They went to the leaning center. Oh, they spelled the damn name wrong at the top of the sign. Learning center. Can't spell learning. You know why they can't spell learning? Because they're immigrants. They're Somalis. They probably haven't learned English.
Probably in their language, that word is probably like.
No, Frank. It was
love and peace.
Looks very different.
It was done on purpose to throw them off from going there. That's what
to throw.
Yes, it was done
to throw
so parents didn't go to check their kid in.
Yes, it was done on
So
purpose.
kids,
to
they're
throw
right.
them off.
Oh, no, this isn't the learning center. This is the leaning center.
Yeah. it
Oh.
was done on purpose.
Genius. Jesus.
Oh,
It was.
everybody put your right elbow on the wall and lean a little bit to the left. We're going to be stretching a little bit today.
The Somalis are like Gruel from the that cartoon movie where the guy tries to take over the world. Gru, I think it is Gru, or the
Gru. Yep.
Gru, you know.
Yep.
Oh my God, where he's trying to commit evil for everything he does. He tries to commit evil.
Listen,
Yep.
all I've learned is we need to open a 501c nonprofit and start a racket, or we need to find a good way to scam the government and become billionaires. Because
We are
And
everybody's.
you go to jail.
We are everybody's whore. We are every country's whore. They come. They hook up with us. They say nice, whisper sweet things in our ear, and then they bang us and they leave. They rape us.
I don't even think they say sweet nothings in the ear. A lot of them
Yeah,
do
right.
rape.
Yeah, right. With the permission of our government, with the permission of the 535 that are up there trying to represent us, that should be speaking for us. That instead are. I'd like to find out how many of our politicians have a little bit of money coming from Minnesota going into their pockets.
Yeah,
I'd like to find out how many are in this that are not in Minnesota.
Please come in. Please.
Maybe outside of it. I'm telling you,
No,
it's got to stop.
It's much bigger.
Well, here's
Here's
the whole thing. You know, when immigration was really about immigration, okay, not what it is now, illegal people coming in.
When it used to be about immigration.
When it used to be about immigration, okay, people who worked here, whatever nationality it was, whether they were Spanish, whether they were Irish, whether they were whatever, Italian, whether they're Jewish, most of them came over here and they tried to get the rest of the family over. So they would send money so eventually they could have the rest of their family have enough money to come over, or whoever wanted to come over to this country. Okay? So they could have a better place to live. My mother's an immigrant. My mother was born in Indonesia. She's Dutch. They got kicked out of Indonesia because they were imperialists there. This is a long, long time ago. And did you move to the Netherlands? And the family then decided to go to the United States, right? And they came here. They went through the whole process. They had to be sponsored. They were sponsored by a family. They couldn't come over here until they had the Presbyterian Church had someone that would sponsor them. So when they came to literally through Ellis Island, they had to go to that sponsor then took them to Chicago, and that's where they had to live first until they got settled in, right? That was the process, right? And their whole goal was to try to figure out a way so it would be a better life for their family. All right.
Right.
And they worked menial jobs. I mean,
they did whatever they could.
They did whatever they could. My grandfather spoke really broken English. Like, he spoke Dutch and he spoke very broken English, like very broken English. And he was a naval officer for the Royal Dutch, Navy, and he was well respected. And then when they got kicked out of Indonesia, which I understand because the Indonesians wanted their country back, right, or whatever they were kicking out. By the way, the country's been shit ever. That's what my grandfather used to say. It's been shit ever since, and that's true. But anyway, but they kicked out and they went to the Netherlands. And then when they came over to they weren't really that accepted in the Netherlands because they lived in Indonesia for 200 years, their family. You know what I mean? So they were Dutch, but they weren't really like my grandfather, and they were all in the Navy. So they were never like in the Netherlands. They were working for the Dutch government. So they come over, and they had a whole process, and they had to. For 10 years, they had to, before they could become full citizens and all that kind of stuff. Now it's just, I mean, it throws all of the original processes right into the garbage. It
The
really
checks
does.
and balances, yeah.
It spits in the face
It's
of every
insulting.
immigrant who's come over here and
And
had to
worked
do it the
hard.
hard way. Had to do it, and look, do I understand? Yes. Listen, and there are different groups of immigrants, illegal immigrants, that are more of a problem than others. Okay, that's just the reality. There are some illegal immigration groups that are illegally immigrating that are huge problems. Honestly, like, I understand that there are drug issues coming in from Mexico and all those things, but I would say the majority of Mexicans that are coming over here they're doing it wrong. I'm not saying they're doing it right when they come here illegally, but the
They're
majority of them are
laborers.
trying to work, right? Okay, and that's just the truth. I don't agree with it. I'm just saying but the groups that are coming over from like war-torn countries in Africa, in the Middle East, they coming over with a very, very different vibe in South America, and a very, very different vibe.
They have an agenda.
It's very different. Like, so when you group this all together, like they're Mexican workers trying to just make a living. That is not the same to me, at least. And yes, I get it that is illegal. You got to control that, and Mexico now wants to control it. I'll do a little bit more to control it, but these different groups are not all the same in their intentions, and we're doing a horrible job prior to Trump of vetting them. We're not vetting anything, and these people are coming in, and they're just coming into the country, and it's crazy. It's crazy. You have to have I agree with this. You have to have borders. You have to have enforcement. You have to have a process. And is it going to be perfect? No, but you have to have a process. If you don't have a process, it's anarchy. That's the word that comes to mind.
Dave, the problem is that most of them do not want to assimilate. So if I come into your house and you invite me, I come into your house and I don't take my shoes off and I don't eat with a fork and knife, and then I take a shit on your floor, I am not assimilating. So I would not be welcome at your house anymore. But in this country, we welcome them, we allow them to shit on our floor, and we keep them here, and we give them money, and we give them support, and we give them housing, and we give them whatever else they need to make it. When your relatives and your grandfather they came to the United States, how many social programs were dumping money to them? None.
Jobs, all that. None.
Right.
And you know what's tough is, okay, people say, oh, this person's, we've gone through this before on the podcast, this person's my neighbor, and they are in this situation. They're a really nice person. There are very nice people, but there's still a process, because what happens is along the way, there's a lot of bad actors that are along the way. Okay. So you can't point to, like, the old saying, like, one apple spoils the bunch. In this case, that especially with immigration, where illegal immigration, when we could control this to a certain extent, and by closing the borders, and controlling what we allow to come in here, we can control the situation, vetting the amount of bad apples that are part of a bunch. And if we don't do that, we have a gigantic problem. We already have a gigantic problem. Now it's cleaning up the mess, which is going to be a total, it's a nightmare. I would argue, see, this is why I hate when the right gets in, the right wastes their time with this whole Charlie Kirk, he said, she said, who did it, who didn't do it, whether it was this guy or that guy. Because there really are, and Charlie Kirk was a great conservative, and it's a terrible thing that happened to him. But when we're wasting our time as conservatives trying to figure out these multiple conspiracy things, like who on the right is conspiring with, I think it's I hate to say this, but it is a gigantic waste of our effort, because there are problems that are really going on that are listen, let's take the worst case scenario that there was some conspiracy, multiple shooters or anything like that. You're never going to find out who did it or who didn't do it if that's the case.
No.
I mean, we couldn't find it out with JFK, who was our president. I mean, you think you're going to find out? Someone's just going to come forward and say, hey, I was a part of these 4 guys that went and we conspired against it.
I want to turn myself in. Yeah.
They're just going to come up and turn themselves. It's not going to happen. Okay. So we're wasting our time with that instead of focusing on the conservative issues that can really help push our country forward. I don't really give a shit whether Erica Kirk wants to date this guy or that guy, or is genuine or isn't genuine, or she gets rich or don't get rich in the process. Overall, what that group is doing is very positive. Overall, what Turning Point is doing is very positive. And that's the thing that people get all effed up. Like, do we want to just get rid of Turning Point because one person here doesn't like this person or that person? Like, overall, what Turning Point is doing is positive. Do I really care whether this person's leading it or that person's leading it? You know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
You have 65 viewers, you dumbass boomers. Hey, Pencil Dick.
Pencil Dick Locky?
Pencil Dick, you have 65 hairs.
I wish I was a boomer because I'd be a little more wealthy. That would be great. But that's how dumb you are. You don't even realize. We're not boomers. Actually, Steve, you're a Gen
Z.
You're a millennial, right?
It doesn't matter.
You're a millennial.
Pencil Dick, I want to tell Pencil Dick, I hope you perish in a fire. How about that? That's what I want. Die in a fire, Pencil Dick.
Steve.
Oh, I know you're a Democrat, Steve. Now I know you're a Democrat.
Now we know.
I'll give you 65 views. Yeah, I got 65 views on my balls. That's what we got. We got thousands of views. We're the best.
Was that when you went to Worcester? That's when you went to Worcester, wasn't it?
General Zod.
On my balls.
And the sour grapes on her head. That was my favorite. But those are the two of all the greatest liberal videos of all time. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Worcester's council meeting takes the cake. I've seen a lot of these things, and a lot of them are funny. But that attacking of the council people from Worcester, and obviously the Worcester council people are probably leftists to begin with, right?
Very.
Right. So the fact that leftists were attacking other leftists and the outfits they wore in the whole it was that is the. And I know they're not trying to be funny. Maybe they were trying. That's why I was trying to wonder. I'm like, is that?
No, they were serious. They were serious.
They were serious. And the sour grapes, she was great. She was great. Like these are my sour grapes, and she literally had sour grapes on her head. And then General Zod is. There's no words. It was just when he put that outfit on that day, or what it was. I think that was the whole trans thing. He, she, or they, or whatever put that outfit on that day. Okay. They had to walk out thinking, I'm doing something special.
I'm going to blow this up. I'm going to blow this meeting up.
Blow up today. I am wearing General's on. Oh,
So stupid. Have you seen the trend now on social media? I cry watching it. But if you know UFC fighters, there's one fighter who retired a while ago named Khabib.
yes.
Khabib Nurmagomedov, right? Right.
The guy who leaped over the thing to go after the
Conor McGregor people. Yeah. So he retired, but he's from Dagestan.
Yes.
And Dagestan has put out a litany of great wrestlers and fighters, right? I mean, it's a small little country. It's cold. It's mountainous. It doesn't cost much to live there. All they do is train day and night. All they do is train. So now the internet is showing like young teenagers or males that are obviously gay, or they just have really feminine tendencies, really bad.
I have to go over there then.
Yeah. So then they show the picture of the kid, being feminine, And then one of Khabib's famous statement was, if you want your kid to be a high level wrestler, he says, send 2-3 years to Dagestan and forget. And so and then they show Khabib slamming guys in training, and it's the greatest. If you can look it up, it's the great. I have tears in my eyes because these kids are out there going, and then they go, send 2-3 years Dagestan and forget, and it goes over and over and over again. It's to me, it's the funniest next level meme that there is right now.
Slam them or no?
Does Khabib what?
Slam them? Does he
No,
slam
not them. No. He's just they're showing his training. They're showing him talking.
Oh, and then all the gay people there.
Yeah.
It's just great.
Right.
It's just
All right.
we need. You should. I'd like to go there. We should realize though. I don't know. I think it's the southern part of underneath Russia.
Southern part.
I think I don't want to say it is. I'm not sure, but I want to say it. I could be wrong. But I just think right now, and me saying that is we need to toughen up. We need to stop being pussies.
We're way too sensitive.
By the way, how do young people think that calling someone a boomer is an insult? Meanwhile, the boomers have all the money, and the young people have none of it. Like
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
None of it.
Pencil dick. Guy in a fire.
You guys are all the young guys are squirrels trying to get a nut, crying and complaining.
Go work for your $40,000.
You know the boomers. I wish I could have as much money as the boomers have.
How's that free shit from Mamdani working out? Granted, he's not officially in, but nothing will get passed.
The chief of police, the chief of fire department that he hired. No experience, like
Pengas.
Well, she fits the diversity. Again, a perfect DEI hire.
You're a tool, Pengas doofy.
They should hire. If Mamdani was if he's a true communist socialist person, he should go and when he makes his hire, he should get like for each category, and he'll say, "This is what I really think of the police department."
Check the boxes.
No, he gets like a 6-foot statue doll, okay, that's dressed in the New York City police uniform, and said, "This is your new commissioner."
Oh,
right. Not right, and then just put in actual non-functioning, no life. Yeah, because they have no.
Like
that's
scarecrow.
Because instead of paying somebody with no experience who's going to do exactly the same thing that like some doll with no life will do, it's a scarecrow. At least that would be free. At least that would be free. The true socialist communist thing, just to say, hey, we really don't care about this department. We're just going to put a doll in front of it, and that's who's going to run it. That's the crazy part about it all. So Hans Gruber. By the way, I love that name, Hans Gruber, 1988. Great movie,
Dave,
by the way.
I have to ask you this because it was on Fox News, and I wanted to get your thoughts since the college football playoffs are going on. Republican Ted Cruz is very angry at college football. He says it's a disaster. The landscape is unsustainable. And this is because the Iowa State Cyclones lost, obviously, Matt Campbell to Penn State. They only have 17 players on their roster for next season and only one returning starter. The Cyclones essentially have to field an entirely new roster and hope they can gel heading into 26. He says, Ted Cruz says, college football, it's an absolute crisis. Congress needs to act. For months, I've been working night and day to try to bring Republicans and Democrats together to save college sports. If we fail to do so, it will be
a comment ever. It's the stupidest comment ever. So he's been working night and day to get representatives to come together for college football. How about for lowering the cost of living? How about for lowering my taxes? How about for saving money from going overseas? Who gives a fuck about college football and teams are losing their rosters? That's bullshit.
I agree with you, Frank.
A lot of people commented that. Yeah.
The only thing that has to listen, they could do this. They don't need to come together and have a committee to do anything about this. They could just go, here's my bill. We'll go on the floor and we'll listen to me speak about it and vote it down or up, and then whatever happens from there. Because the bottom line is college football, if there's 17 people on the Iowa State roster, that means that they have 88 scholarships available. And they're going to give those 88 scholarships to a bunch of players. I don't know. They're going to give the 88 scholarships out, and they're going to do the same thing every single year. Even if they lost all 105 every year, they have 105 scholarships to give out. And they're going to turn around and go, I have 105 scholarships. Who wants them?
90 scholarships. They have 90 scholarships.
Go to Dagestan and get some wrestlers. They could probably be good nose guards. Go to Dagestan. 2-3 years. Forget about it. You recruit them.
You know, I understand Congress has more pressing issues. So
Much more.
Ted Cruz should not bother.
Ted Cruz is a dickbag.
The NCAA just needs to not allow the damn pro players to play in college. Like, that's the first step. Okay, which the guy just came down and said he's not going to allow it. I can't think of his name, but the guy's head of NCAA today said because basically.
Oh, the one that John Calipari.
You know what? Like coaches lost their. I tell you this, I love basketball coaches. You know why I love basketball coaches? Because they got pair of balls. Those guys.
Well, yeah, they don't care. John Calipari doesn't care. He
Calipari doesn't care. Yes. Hurley doesn't care. The guy who used to be now it was the Auburn coach. Maybe he retired now. Pearl. He doesn't care. Those guys don't care. Rick Pitino
doesn't care. No.
Okay, like these guys, the guy who used to be the Oklahoma coach, he's now the Houston coach. Great coach. Oh God, he doesn't care. Okay, those guys say it because you know what? The only people they end up alienating is 5 players or 10 players, and they don't care. All right, because they don't want to be held hostage anymore because they were the first with AAU to be held hostage. Okay, by players. And now all those basketball coaches are rebelling and saying, we're not going to be held hostage anymore by it. Football, half these coaches don't have a pair of nuts to say anything about anything because they're contracts. So they have so much money on the line. And they're scared to say, hey, this is complete nonsense. Okay? They have to do it. What Calipari did, he forced the NCAA Calipari, the coach from Houston, Hurley, Izzo, they forced the NCAA guy to do something about it because they basically went on tirade after tirade after tirade.
This guy came out in the draft in 2023. He was playing in the G League, and then he was allowed to come back to college basketball.
No, well, it's not going to happen now. But
yeah,
now listen, he's going to sue. Here's what will happen next. He will sue. There's a good chance he might win. Yeah. And basically, bottom line is coaches are the only ones and athletic directors are the only ones that can fight, and the university presidents are the only ones that can fight back against it.
But they do, and they get sued and they lose.
And I don't give a fuck about any of it because the truth is sports will shake out how it always shakes out. The best athletes will be playing and have the opportunities, and the ones that aren't that good will be at a lower level. That's the bottom line. Let's get back to this political discussion because we don't want Frank falling asleep.
I think you, Dave. I was going to jump in because I think you made a great assimilation. So you're saying that college football coaches are just like people in Congress.
Yes.
They have a lot of money on the line, and they don't want to say anything to rock the boat.
College basketball.
No, football.
I'm saying college basketball coaches, especially the older ones, have rebelled. They're later in their career. They have made an insane amount of money. Okay,
Right.
They're not worried if you fire them tomorrow, they'll go sit on the damn beach. Okay,
Yeah.
Calipari, Patino, Hurley will just go to the NBA. They go sit on the Izzo. They'll go sit on the beach. The Sampson is the guy from Houston.
Kelvin Sampson.
Yeah, great coach, Kevin Sampson, and he went through there. He was at Oklahoma. And great coach. They understand that they have been held as coaches themselves. They were held captive for years. Okay, by the culture, and now they've realized, you know what? This is just complete nonsense. It doesn't have anything to do with them winning, because kids are going to go play for those guys. Those guys are great coaches. I don't care what they say. They're great. They're the best coaches in the game, and guys are going to go play for them, right? And then, but football coaches, no matter how good they are, they could be fired. You could be Urban Meyer and be fired. You could be yeah, you could be the best. So it's very different than the basketball coaches. I actually think it's much harder to find guys that are great basketball coaches like those guys than it is to find great football coaches. I really do, because the game is different.
When did they allow professional basketball players to come back and play in college?
This is the first year they're going to do it.
It's just now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just now. Okay.
And it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be non-Americans.
Yes,
that would be eligible. So that's not going to fly. That's not going to fly. You're not going to see. There's no way. There's no way.
So the other news I wanted to bring up was JFK's granddaughter died. I thought that was very sad. It was Tatiana Schlossberg. She died at 35 after a year and a half battle of leukemia. So the Kennedy curse just continues. So what does this mean? You know, everything that's going on in Minnesota, the Somalis coming over. You know, we had Sean from Afghan evac on. With immigration, is that the core issue to all of this? If immigration was tempered, was not allowed, was ceased for a year or two.
Illegal immigration you're talking about, right?
I'm talking about all immigration. I'm just saying all immigration. Would all these scandals slow down, or would we just find new ways to create
illegal immigration? That's the problem. It's not the people who are legally immigrating to America.
Okay.
It's borders. It's the border. That's the problem.
The Afghan guy who shot the guy in DC was legal.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't?
He was on a visa or whatever, and I think it expired or something. I don't know.
Said he was vetted and everything. He just said he had mental health issues. He said he was legal.
Oh, that's yeah, you have mental health issues. Come on over.
That's what I'm saying. Screw immigrants. Don't let anyone in.
No.
Take care of ourselves.
Legal immigration.
I don't want anyone. I don't want anyone anymore.
Well, I don't even think it's. I don't even think it's immigration. I don't think it's immigration. I don't think it's. I think what this country needs is Doge back. I think we need to know. And in a sensible way. I think we need to know what programs are out there. See, I heard them say, and this is even through the government that's right now, the administration now, the Treasury Department has never refused a check.
No.
So they've never refused a payment to any program for any organization at any time.
Just here you go.
So I just think we need to gut the system from the inside out. We need to find out where every dollar is going. When you have politicians spend a lot because it's easy. It's not their money. When you have a household budget that's sinking and underwater, what do? You dig up where all your spending is going, and then you try to cut corners with where it is to make it balance back to in the black. So I think that's what we need. We need to find out what programs are working and what are not. What programs are out there that make sense and what are not. What foreign programs are out there that need to be cut right away because I apologize. but we can't be funding the rest of the world. And that's what it is. The rest of the world depends on us.
How long was Doge technically around for?
A couple months.
4
And
months.
then Musk got heat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then they made the fake him and Trump getting in an argument and hating each other and what. That was all bullshit. That was done by Trump to help Musk out, so Musk could back out and go back to his companies, because the shareholders in Tesla were upset that he's taking over. He's doing 3 different companies and trying to do Doge.
Yeah, exactly.
I just said so. That's where I think the major problem of this country is. Once you start doing checks and balances, top to bottom, it's got to start at the low levels all the way up to the federal government. I want to know who's getting paid and how much and why. I want to know where the checks are going. I want to know who's benefiting from the checks. I want to know where the money's going after they get it. I don't want it to be laundered. I don't want it to go to, I don't want a Somali daycare sending money to a candidate in the state of Washington. I don't. That's not what it should be. And money that they shouldn't have received in the first place. These are the things that need to get taken care of.
And Frank, people have said that the budget for 2026 has not been established yet. Is that accurate?
Well, you got to realize they're still going through Congress right now. They've extended it. Now they've got to go through it because you got to put the Medicaid package together. You got to put everything together. What the government's going to spend for 26. But the hole is so big, it looks insurmountable. And when that happens, what do people do? They just say, fuck it and keep spending till it burns. Well, we can't let Rome burn.
It's just paper.
Right. So the thing is, what's got to happen is we got to chip away at this. The only way to chip away at it is to stop the bullshit. We have to stop the social programs that don't need to be there. They don't work. They're not funding. I mean, there's conservative social programs that are garbage. There's liberal social programs that are garbage. I like to call them American social programs that are garbage, because we're all suffering one way or another. If the program is shit, the liberal is paying money into it just as well as the conservative is paying money into it. So we're all suffering from this. But if we don't come together as a political group, in other words, we can't be so far right and left. There's got to be some kind of middle, at least financially. I mean, you want to call me a racist, that's fine, but I want to be a fiscal racist. I don't want to be a broke racist. I want people to be able to afford to live in this country, afford to buy things in this country, afford to send their kids to school. Whatever it is, it should be a little bit more affordable. People don't understand this. I see so many social videos and they say, oh my God, the cost of food is so much cheaper in Europe. I was in Italy and I bought a sandwich for €7 and €6. Well, you know why? I can tell you why. Most of the people that work in food, cooks, waiters, retail, whatever it is, factories, they're paid a monthly salary. They're not paid by the week. They're not paid biweekly. They're paid monthly. And the average waiter or the average bartender, the average cook is making around 16 to 1,800 euros a month. So that's like 2,200, $2,000 to $2,200, $2,300 a month. They're making 500 a week. Okay. And working unregulated hours. There's no overtime after 40 hours and all of a sudden they're getting paid overtime. They get called in almost every day to work 8, 10, 12-hour shifts. So when your labor costs are so low, that's why your food is so low. They don't have to pay the workers dick. So people don't understand affordability. They don't understand where our money is going. They don't understand where it's being spent. And I think that's what tires Americans out. We're tired. The American public is tired. We're tired of hearing the bullshit from both sides. All these investigations that go on when Congress is involved. Oh, we're going to do another, the House is going to do this. We're going to. How many people have gone to jail on that? How many people have been thrown out of office because of that? How many people have lost their licenses or their ability to do whatever they do? None. None.
Dave, I mean, do you think a committee should be formed to go through these government programs and try to put some guardrails on them, to regulate the spending, to see, like Doge?
I think that's what Doge was doing, attempting to do, right?
Tone it down and only make it in the U.S., not investigating what we're spending overseas.
I mean, I look, I think that there's a good reason to step by step look at all the different things, okay, but that we're spending on, and even overseas, it makes sense to look at why we're spending it, what we're spending it on. I think that in-house, meaning within the United States, the reason why I do think you need a Doge is because there's lots of the difference between overseas spending and in America spending is you're sending most of the time overseas to specific governments, okay, or specific groups, I don't know, within governments, I guess. And it's probably large sums of money that you know this is a large sum of money. So we know whether you agree with the spend or disagree with the spend, I don't always know what they're spending it on, but you know where it's going for the most part too. The in-house United States stuff, like the stuff that's going on in Minnesota, potentially could be going on in every state. Okay.
Right. No.
So whether it's a conservative or a liberal state, my guess is that a lot more is going on in liberal states because they take taxpayer money, more taxpayer money. But whether it is or no matter what party it is, the issue is that there's so many different groups that are getting money. A lot of times smaller organizations could be getting tons of money, in this case, right? Billions, basically. And without having accountability for it, the taxpayer could be getting screwed tremendously. And there's a lot of line items to go through. You know what I mean? Like, foreign affairs line items are probably heavy dollar line items and less groups. Like they might be sending it to, I don't know, 500 groups or 1,000 groups around the world, each one of these with high dollar amount items. And we could probably look at it pretty quickly. Probably the average citizen could probably go on and find some of that stuff, right? But these smaller programs that are all over the United States, that's hundreds of thousands of different groups that are getting it. Hundreds of thousands of different line items. It requires a concerted effort to go through it, which is probably why it's so easy to skirt the system, because there's probably people that don't have an incentive if it's giving to somebody within their own group to be able to look at those items. You know what I mean?
So diehard Hans Gruber said, Don is right. Don said, how much of the stuff we are using right now are made in the USA? And he was saying that textiles, not manufacturing.
Nothing is made in the USA.
You can't make it in the USA. You can't make anything in the USA because the labor costs too much and there's too much regulation. Companies can't come out with a profit margin that they need. That's why they go overseas and have it made for nothing.
Absolutely.
That has created a long-term problem, okay? And every American buys stuff from things that are overseas.
That what the tariffs were put on for?
Yes, and we did get. Trump says that we've gotten a ton of money for the tariffs, but the bigger thing of it all is, to me, the bigger problem from a foreign standpoint with all the goods that are made everywhere else is first of all, a lot of this stuff is almost impossible to bring back to the United States, not just from not because they can't be made in the United States, but because of a cost and labor standpoint.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a huge wage-wise. Yeah.
The problem with all of this is that when it is at some of these other countries where we're either not even allies with, or we don't have the ability to control how it's made and who makes it and how it's shipped over, and who that money goes to after they get it, right?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Everything. No,
communist country, like we get a lot of stuff from China. Okay, I have a lot of stuff from China. I'm sure Frank does. I'm sure you do.
This person disagrees with us. He says we haven't gotten dollars from tariffs. Tariffs paid by the U.S. Essentially more tax money we are paying.
Well, tariffs are.
Oh, you're laughing at me, Louis. Okay.
The person who get the group. So the way tariffs work is when you buy something from China for
Right.
$1, and
You're
let's say the
paying-
tariff is 1 for 1. Let's say it was $1. The person who's purchasing the product, usually it's the business that's paying the
tax.
tariff.
Correct.
Okay. Now it could be passed on. It's probably going to be passed on in a little bit higher prices to the
Why
to
are
the
you
end
laughing?
consumer.
Stop laughing at me. Why are you laughing at me, Louis-O? Why are you laughing at me, Louis-O? Blevin music. I'll sing right now, Louis-O Blevin music.
Hey,
I'll sing like, you know, all night long, all night. Oh yeah, all night long, all night. Yeah, all night long. What do you think about that, Louis-O? What do you think about that? What do you think about
Louis-O,
shove it up your ass, Louis-O? Shove it up
Louis-O.
your ass. No, Lou.
I would keep laughing, Louis-O. Keep laughing.
No, I'm just.
God, I love it. I like
Well,
the
listen,
all
yes,
night
yes,
long
tariffs-
edition. Look at that. All night long. Look
All
at
right.
that, Steve.
All right.
Tariffs will force companies to look to other resources to be able to buy, and to other companies to be able to buy from, if it's going to be too much for them to purchase it from the country where the tariffs are on. There's other countries that could sell it cheaper. So that's forcing the foreign companies to play ball with the United States. That's all tariff is. It's just a leverage. It's a leverage deal. And maybe, yes, it costs us a little more. That's fine. But each side swallows a little bit of it. And maybe you get a 10, 20% charge on it. Now, but the thing is, if it brings us in, listen.
Buy less products up from that country, and they buy
Yeah.
less products.
Let's say a full year of tariffs bring in $1 trillion. Let's say it brings in $1 trillion in a full year. If you're tariffing everyone across the board, put that money towards Medicaid.
Yeah.
Now we got half or 3/4 or whatever we need to cover the medical system. So that people would be happy in doing that. They wouldn't come. Oh no, I'm paying a tariff. Yeah, but you're putting it towards medical coverage for all. So I think there's benefits in stuff like that. But I don't have numbers in front of me. But when I talk about Doge, or when I talk about cutting expenditures and waste,
Doge did its job. I thought,
but no. But just let me give you a small example, very small example. The Biden had the infrastructure bill. Oh my God, what a great thing that. So $4 billion went for internet. $4 billion went to establish coverage throughout the country. Internet. $4 billion got spent. Nothing got accomplished. Not one single internet cell or tower of money with that to develop and upgrade internet for the rural areas. Number two, the federal government sent California state money, sent them money to build a rail line, a high-speed rail line that never got built. But I think they sent them $12 billion, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's $100 billion. I don't remember what they spent.
When is it going into production?
It didn't never, and too many regulations and stoppages and disputes and arguments, and they kept, but 12 billion is gone, or whatever the figure was, is gone. I mean, when you're the government and you're giving out money to states, there has to be stipulations and guarantees. That either gets done with that money, or you're going to owe the federal government $12 billion. And that means we're not going to give you $12 billion until we get our money back. So maybe your budget next year will have $12 billion less, or whatever you're getting. There's got to be, there's no checks and balances. Like I said, the Treasury never refused a check in its life. And that's wrong. When the money's not there, or the work doesn't get done, my bank just don't say, hey man, take whatever you want. I gotta have a guarantee. And there's no guarantees here. And these politicians talk so much shit. When you listen to them, you might as well turn the fucking TV off. Because you're getting nothing. You're getting no information whatsoever. All they're doing is back talking to each other. I mean, the only one, Trump to me, his vocabulary is very minimal. The public speaking wise, he rambles on. But you know what? When he says stuff, most of that shit I believe, because he can say it because he doesn't give a shit, because he doesn't need anybody's money.
No,
I agree. Well, I have a question about this, because obviously I'm a conservative, and I see.
You are?
I see. Yes. One of the questions that people, I hear this all the time, and I don't really understand. It's always from the left, and their always default is Trump's a liar. Like they say it like a 10-year-old says it, right? Trump's a liar. What is the craziness with respect to that? Like why are we not focused on like why can't we focus on, all right, what Trump's doing here, this makes sense. What Trump's doing here, I disagree with it for this reason. Why does it have to be everything someone's a liar? Like can't you disagree with something that someone does policy-wise?
That's the best argument they have. That's the only argument they have. Oh, you're a liar. Just like a 3-year-old. You're a liar. Liar. Daddy, he's a liar. He's a liar. That's their best argument. You know why? Because they're morons. They're stupid. They're idiots. They're morons. That's why. And they're communists.
Well, my thing is like, why is it like, why don't we bring up a fact, along the way? Like,
Christy, goddamn you. Christy, he is Saint Benedict. He is Saint Benedict. Yes, Saint Benedict. Saint Benedict. He's the one who's not getting us into a conference. Remember that. Saint Benedict. And remember, I was right. So, Dave, I want to ask you this. We're going into 2020.
Frank, you should hear that. If you came on the Husky Hollow podcast, Steve is lucky that he's so beloved in UConn because the athletic department might see him coming to a game and they might just say, no, you cannot come in.
Lock him off.
So let me ask you this:
I would donate to the UConn. I would donate to the UConn fund, bleed blue or whatever, just to see that happen.
I know. Yeah. You could call it the banned Steve Cully from the from Games Fund.
What am I not in passion? I'm always in passion, Christy. I am the definition of passion.
Harvest Crow thinks you're making fun of Saint Benedict.
No. He's saying, is Joe D allowed to appear on Rebel?
No. Harvesting now doesn't realize that. Harvesting now doesn't realize you're talking about something else. You're not talking about the actual Saint Benedict. He's talking about something else.
No, he knows I'm talking about Saint Benedict.
No, Joe D knows what you're talking about, but the other people on the podcast don't because they don't see your Husky Hollow. They only
Right.
They think that you're saying something about Saint Benedict. The Catholics are rebelling against you, Steve.
Why are you damning God?
Why are you damning him, Steve? Oh, my God.
We're going into 2026. Number one, how would you grade Trump's 2025? And what would you like to see the two main goals going forward in 2026?
To me?
Dave.
Oh, what's the question? I'm reading the O.J. Simpson thing. You see the O.J. Simpson one on the right? Oh, my God. I mean, the comments are so funny, some of these.
All I want to know.
Did you see this, O.J. Simpson? Yeah, I met this girl at the club last night. She sold my scrotum. Looks like it's upside down heart emoji. Do you think she's serious?
Yeah. Like if your scrotum is upside down, that is amazing. I wish I had an upside down scrotum.
Well, you're in big trouble at that point. If it's twisted, you're in big trouble. If it's twisted, you're in big trouble. And don't go to Dagestan with an upside down scrotum.
I want to get teabagged.
Dagestan.
So
2-3 years.
Dave.
Yes, guys. Sorry.
How would you grade Trump, his performance in 2025? And two main goals you would like to see him achieve in 2026?
That's a tough question. I would say A-. It's got to be room for improvement. There are things that he did really well. I think
it's the money of all time.
I think Trump handled foreign affairs, which was a tricky issue coming in for him. I thought he handled it so far. He's handled it pretty well.
I thought
and he takes a lot of flack for it from both the right and left. Believe it or not, I think he's handled it pretty well because there are difficult issues. Ukraine's an issue. The Ukraine Russia thing, Israeli Palestinian thing.
Israel is the most disgusting country in the world.
You ask me a question. You want my answer, or you want to pull up all the freaking comments?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Jesus, Frank. I mean, where'd you get this guy from?
Unbelievable. It's like a bad egg in the dozen.
I mean, he asks a question. He asks a question.
Well, because you love Israel, and this guy said Israel's the most disgusting country in the world. So I just wanted to pull that up for you.
They're looking for me to ban them. I just banned those people. Yeah, okay. We allow Israel to go away, and Islam runs rampant and throughout the Middle East, takes over the. I'll just give you a quick scenario, real quick scenario for you right there. So the Middle East becomes a vast wasteland run by communist and dictatorship regimes. People who then infiltrate throughout the rest of Europe into the United States, infiltrate the United States. Islam spreads throughout the United States, the rest of the world. Sharia law is here, and Steve is in a burqa from now on in 2030. Actually, that might not be bad. Hold on. He's in a burqa.
Why do I have to wear a burqa?
Because you're going to be, because you're going to enjoy when the Dagestanis come over here.
No, but the goal for 2026, you'd love to see inflation.
What would I? So
inflation.
Internally, America, I think inside America, Trump has done a really good job for the most part. Yeah. I think the tariffs have done mostly of what he's wanted to do. I think he's uncovering things left and right within the government. I think there's a long way to go. I think Frank is right. We have to get much more transparency as to what's going on with all of our dollars. And I think that goes for both foreign and in the United States. Okay, both friends and foes, because we need to look at all of that and see why are we doing it. And then I think that we also have to get a much better handle on what we want to do from a legal immigration standpoint, what we want to, how we want to handle people. So there's a Trump's never going to win the PR battle on the left side, okay? But what Trump, I think, has to do with respect to stuff like ICE and all those kind of things is continue to give explanations for each one of these things when we go into places, right? Because I think it's important. For someone like me who's a supporter, of Trump, I don't need most of these explanations. I trust for the most part but I think the American public needs to have it. Okay, we have a big bus. I'm not talking about small things. We blow up we're starting to do it. We blow up a Venezuelan boat that are drug dealers. We need to know, not what before it happens, because we're not giving that away, but we need to have the explanations, because it needs to be, hey, this is, because I think overall it keeps people understanding those things. I think Trump has to continue to lead. I think he also has to be strong in fostering successors. Okay,
he does. Very important.
So JD Vance potentially, but I don't think he should. I think it shouldn't just be JD Vance. I don't think that's good either. You got DeSantis. We got to have Rubio. We got to have a lot of these other guys that have potential success to be able to be fostered, to be in part of the system, to continue to have a voice in that, and whether it's with him,
we can't lose control.
Yes, because then it becomes a situation where. Thank you so much, Hans Gruber, for the shout out to Hans Gruber, 1988. Make sure you follow Hans Gruber. By the way, one of my favorite movies of all time. Hans Gruber was actually the bad guy, but for us, he's the good guy.
Yes, and he just died. I feel bad for him.
Yes, and the guy who played Hans Gruber just died.
Yeah,
great actor, by the way.
He died in the last 2 years, I believe.
Fantastic actor.
He was.
But yeah, I mean, I think that those things continue to be transparent. I think he's continue to be bold. Listen, I used to sometimes cringe when I used to sometimes cringe when he would tweet some things. I don't give a shit. He can tweet whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, let him tweet. He loves it.
Like people don't like it. They don't like it. Who cares? And you know what? He is allowed to be wrong sometimes when he tweets things. Like, I get it. Okay, sometimes it's not he's not Abraham Lincoln. Okay, he's not George Washington. He is an excellent leader within his time, the time that we're in. Okay,
he's been the best president of the last 25 years.
The social media time period. How do you combat so many of these maniacs all over the world tweeting? You know what? You send a couple of crazy tweets, and people get more up in arms. And you know what? He basically gives them a middle finger. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Too. I'm okay with
it. You know what I mean? So sometimes you need that kind of leadership. If a conservative wins in the next after Trump does a good enough job and a conservative wins, I think maybe a Rubio or a more refined person from that standpoint could be a part 2 leader that would be better. But for the next phase. But right now we need Trump. Frank, you're up, Frank. Same question for you.
How would you grade
what was the question, Steve?
How would you grade Trump's 2025?
What is it like to go to Dagestan and
yes.
Two most important goals.
3 years. So I give him an A+ for effort. The guy is everywhere. He's not just doing domestic policies and domestic laws and expenditures. He is around the world going, and people are like, well, he didn't quite, Hamas still has some weapons, and what did he stop in the Congo or whatever? What kind? You know what? At least the effort is there. The last president, if you remember, nappy time was at 5 p.m. and he liked chocolate ice cream. So you have to realize night and day between what we have now and the really the Play-Doh pile of a president that we had for the last 4 years before this. So A+ for effort. I give him a A+ for what he has done border security wise, closing this border off. I give him the A+ effort for what he is doing with fighting drugs and especially fentanyl. I think that people don't realize, they're like, well, China is the one to do it. Well, China uses Venezuela and other countries, Colombia as well, to import the fentanyl to Mexico. And then from there it goes across the border into the U.S. So I would love to see the scourge of that totally wiped out. It will never be totally wiped out, but I think his efforts are sincere, genuine, and have been effective and will continue to be effective. I don't care. Listen, until one of the grieving parents of these fishermen on these boats that are getting blown up come back to the United States and say, the American military blew up my son who was just out fishing for tuna, then I'll understand it. But there's no grieving going on. They're coming from drug factories and drug farms, and it's let it happen. Let it happen. Let's see. I know they want to change the regime. I know this administration wants to get rid of Maduro right now in Venezuela and put in what could be the legitimate candidate and the female who actually won the election, but the votes were thrown out by Maduro. So and is it because of oil? I don't think so. I think we have enough oil in this country as it is right now. I think we're self-sufficient. We're shipping oil around the world right now to other countries. So I don't think that's it whatsoever. I just think that a friendly regime change down there may help the situation with fentanyl. It may help the situation with drugs. It may help the situation with Colombia. Now we have a base closer to Colombia to actually fight the war, the cocaine battle that's still coming into this country. So there's a multitude of things. But what really needs to happen for 26 is, I think, with the immigration issue, I've been a big supporter of filtering out the immigrants that have been here that are hardworking, haven't committed any crimes. They shouldn't fear that they're going to be deported because they realize a lot of them are getting deported to different countries. When they do get corralled, they could be incarcerated for 3-4 weeks and no one hears anything from them because they're not allowed to call. They're not allowed to have visitation. There's no attorney privileges for these. So I think that there needs to be a reform in how it's done. You want to continue going after the criminal element that are illegal, please, by all means do.
Give them some rights.
But there's got to be something like that. And I think in 26, we need to see the trillions of dollars that have been brought into this country by foreign entities, foreign countries, to build factories and plants. We need to see that go into effect, and we need to see jobs for Americans. Once we start seeing those trillions of dollars working, we're going to see a better stock market. We're going to see a better economic climate. And I think that a good economic climate going into the 26 elections would service not only Trump, but all the Republican candidates that are running or that are currently in office and have to run again. So I think that's a big thing, because the biggest focus now, and what Trump is focusing on, they need to keep the House of Representatives red.
And
if they lose the House, if they lose the House, you're going to see a 2-year shit show of nothing happening and impeachment. They're going to go do another 2-year process trying to impeach this president again, which will serve them. Yeah, which will serve them no justice whatsoever. So I think those are the big things. Oh, they'll impeach him on not going to Congress to get everything that he's done approved.
Oh,
they'll impeach him as being. They're just doing executive orders, which are not supposedly not legal. But I just think that they need to tighten those things up. He needs to concentrate on that for 26. And if that happens, right. And if that happens, and we can get maybe the Ukraine-Russia thing could be at an end, and that would be a great feather in the cap. I mean, the guys got to realize, people got to realize, and please help me out with the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing, because they're saying that Trump had a child with an underage, a 16-year-old girl that Jeffrey Epstein provided him, and then Trump didn't want the child, so he threw it in Lake Michigan. This has been a big. They say that it's documented when they opened up all the Epstein files and all that. It's in the file of the testimony of one of the, I don't know if it was purveyors of women to Epstein, or one of the girls who was abused by Epstein or whatever, but she had testified to that. I just think all this shit is way out of hand.
And Trump farts lightning out of his ass too.
So this was what? This is in the Epstein files?
In the Epstein files, supposedly there's thing where it's stated right in there that Epstein and Trump were provided underage women, and Trump had been with one of the underage girls, and then she fathered a child from Trump. And then Trump decided to have the baby killed, so they threw the baby into Lake Michigan. I'm sure I'm roundabouting the story, Dave. And I'm not right on point with it, because I didn't read the whole thing, because I don't. You're telling me that this guy who has companies is going to, number one, all right, with an underage girl, and then have a child with an underage girl, and then kill the child? Please. Now
that seems like it would be the most reckless thing you could possibly do.
With where he is in life.
And the University of Michigan coach losing his job.
I know.
And then deciding to confront his mistress at her house.
Well, no, he almost killed himself, not the mistress.
With a butter knife. He's not going to stab himself with a butter knife there, Steve.
Butter knife.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. So that would be what you would call losing your mind there. But so this would seem even crazier than that. So listen, look, in this world, anything is possible. So I could never say that anything is not possible.
Right.
And I do, even though, obviously I like Trump, I never put anything past anybody, because I'm always amazed.
Trump didn't have a kid and throw it in Lake Michigan.
No, I know that. I know that. I obviously I agree with that. I'm just saying that nothing would ever amaze me in the world that we live in, that things being crazy. Like every time I think I'm going to be, I've reached the top level of craziness, something even more crazy happens. Like when the Michigan thing happens, like if you were to tell me that a guy who makes $8 million or $6 million a year, okay, they find him out for fooling around with another woman, okay,
that's Bruno did. I mean,
supposedly she was pregnant and she got an abortion. Whatever. I don't know whether that's true or not, but let's say that was true. That he would then go to her house after he
got fired. I would have gone.
He got fired, but she was already staying away from him for a couple of months after the whole thing with the quote unquote the baby. Would go to her house, threaten to take his own life with a butter knife, then get arrested because she ruined his life by going to the athletic director.
Yeah, she ruined his life.
I know, but I would never, like, to me, it would be like, I would be really upset. I might drink a couple of bottles of Jack Daniels. I get all that.
Her fault.
I completely understand that. I lose my whole family. I'm losing, but I still have $6 million.
Your wife would forgive
taking away my $6 million. Why would I want to go to jail? Where now
he's not going to go to jail. He's not going to jail.
I know, but he could have got, like, he was arrested.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, we all get arrested. I mean,
they're not going to put him in jail because the people in the state of Michigan are be like, send this guy away quietly so we could get the guy from Utah in here and he'll take the job.
Yeah, Whittingham in here. Yeah,
that was a shocking event. It would be shocking, like if we found out that like Steve was gay.
Right. It'd be shocking.
It would be unreal.
It would be as shocking as he said, wait, wrestling for with men only for the next 2 to 3 years? Sign me up.
I want to go to Kazakhstan.
Dagestan.
Yeah, I can't wait.
It'd be like Steve would drive to his lover's house and put a sock over his hand and do hand puppet tricks against him, like, you ratted me out, I'm gay.
No, I just want it up the butt with no lube. That's it.
There you go. See. There's no shock level anymore. Dave. Just a few months ago, we found out that the government told us that there were aliens everywhere. No one even gives a shit anymore.
Oh my God, the aliens! There are aliens. They live in the United States.
Yes.
They're called human beings. The aliens came down. You know what happened? The aliens used to come down here and be like, hey, do we want to take over this place? Do we, and then they came down one time and they said, these people are fucking crazy. I don't want to
stay far away from planet number 3.
Yes. News to Land of Zod. Planet 3, off limits. Craziness.
Evacuate.
Craziness.
Pumpkins everywhere.
Evacuate all aliens.
Oh, this is great.
All right, another banner episode of Rebel Republic. I am your host, Steve Cully, the best podcast host in the universe for Coach Schumann. Let's go, the voice of reason, Frank Cristiano.
Thank all by the way, our wonderful commenters.
Yeah,
I want to say hello to the 65 people that watch us.
Well, 65.
I look like a guy that's going to die trying to take a shit. You think I'm fucking Elvis? Fuck you, Vanilla Danilo. How about
Vanilla Danilo?
Vanilla, what did he say?
He said I look like I'm going to die taking a shit. How about we take a vanilla ice cream cone and we shove it up your ass, Vanilla Danilo? How about that? How do you like that?
Steve, I would say that our commenter on the day is definitely Hans Gruber. Hans Gruber deserves a round of applause for being our commenter of the day.
He gave you money. That's why he gets the comment of the day.
No, he has some great comments. He's a true conservative.
Yeah, I love him. Maybe too much. Who knows?
There's no way Steve would get tired taking a shit.
How many of our commenters would love to see Steve go to Dagestan for 2 to 3 years and live with
2 to 3 years? 2 to 3 years. Forget about it.
We're not taking that vote. So when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them back at Vanilla Danilo.
There you go. Vanilla Danilo.